Alright, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another Kings of Television review. This time we are reviewing Once Upon a Time, the Lost Girl episode. Very, very good episode here, and I'm going to lightly go over what basically happened and what was the theme of all of these characters here tonight. And it was very interesting to me because I saw the previews and I saw a whole bunch of Snow White and Prince Charming, and I was like, oh my god, no, please, please. They're the least interesting right now. I'd rather go back to the Enchanted Forest with Neil and Mulan. I don't want to hear about Snow and Charming. They're annoying as hell. But I will say this: very, very excellent job done by the whole cast tonight on Once Upon a Time. And no, damn it, Peter Pan, the kid who plays him, deserves an Emmy. It's amazing. It is wonderfully done. Anyway, let's get on to the review. Okay, so let's start with Rumpelstiltskin's part of this story because it was the least relevant and it was more about him instead of the story that was going on. In this episode, the theme for Rumpelstiltskin was kind of letting go of his past, and it had to do with a lot of orphanism and being left by your father or leaving your children. So this episode was really kind of hit close to home to me. I was like, oh, okay, I get what you're feeling, Rumpelstiltskin. He has this little voodoo doll that we found out about last week, and it was something that's really emotionally meaning to him. And we find out later that it was the last thing his father had given to him before his father disappeared from his life, which is really, really sad. It's being one of those people who's had a parent ditch them, and not even from death or not having money or being in jail, just because he just doesn't want to deal with it. You know, being one of those people, it takes its toll. I'm a crazy person, and I think that it impacts someone in many ways. To me, I think it actually made me a better person and made me actually see through the bullshit, but for someone like Rumpelstiltskin, like, and he gets that kind of power, like, for me, I would never want to own any type of power because I'm a little nervous of what I would do with it. So Rumpelstiltskin, I feel your pain, bro. Through visions of Belle, we find out that Rumpel is afraid of choosing the coward's way out over doing the right thing, and the coward's way out obviously would be letting his grandson die. The prophecy in an earlier season said that the boy would be his undoing, so since then he's kind of been struggling with this inside voice of, let him die, kill him, get rid of him, so that way he doesn't take you out. You're Rumpelstiltskin, you're the Dark One, you have to kill him. No, you're his grandfather. You're his son is your son. No, that's not right. Neil is his father. You're Neil's father. You can't do that to your grandson. So he's been arguing with himself in his head for quite some time, and it's, oh man, I love Rumpelstiltskin, but surprisingly, I didn't enjoy Rumpelstiltskin as much as the other characters this week, which is very interesting. It's very rare for Once Upon a Time. I love Rumpelstiltskin stuff, but this week it was just kind of same old, just a little more to the point. At one point, he lets the doll go, and he drops it off of a cliff, and you see that it kind of floats slowly, like it's floating. And then later in the episode, when Rumpel is trying to just track his way through the village, he hears rustling, and the doll floats down in front of him. He tries to destroy it, he can't, and it rematerializes, and he just sticks it back in his pocket, and he still has the doll, kind of symbolizing that he is still struggling with what he should do. Should he let go of his anger from his father leaving him and do the right thing, or should he still do what he always does and take the coward's way out? Really, really deep thinking into these episodes so far from season 3 of Once Upon a Time. Very, very well done as well, especially Rumpelstiltskin. His acting is unbelievable. Very well done. Okay, so let's move on to the Enchanted Forest and part of the Emma Snow, Charming, Hook, McQueen, and Peter Pan part of this episode. So the Enchanted Forest, all you're going to really hear about from me in this is that, again, it was about a theme of becoming who you're meant to be. You need to figure out who you are meant to be in this episode if you're Snow or Charming or even Emma. So it starts out with Charming, Snow, and the dwarves and the villagers, and they're all being harassed by Regina. Regina's like, you're not really the queen, I made you nothing, you're Snow White, just leave. If you leave, I won't kill people. And Snow goes, you know what, that's probably a good idea. And Charming doesn't like this, and he goes to Gold for advice. Gold doesn't give him the advice that we later find out. So Charming has cooked up this plan of putting the Excalibur sword in between two rocks and making a show of only the true ruler of the kingdom can pull this sword. You know this story. And Snow White goes, oh, okay, alright, and pulls the sword out and immediately gets this new wind of confidence. And then a week later, when the queen shows back up to kill some people, Snow White says, we're not leaving, I'm the real queen, and she cuts Regina across the cheek just out of pure, I'm not leaving, I'm standing up to you. And Regina in this episode is awesome. Oh, amazing Regina. It makes me love Regina so much, especially in the real time, not even the Enchanted Forest bits. But her costumes are great. Her acting is amazing. She represents the queen. When you take a character, like for instance Mulan. Mulan in this series, to me, isn't as impactful as the Mulan I remember in the TV show. Prince Charming, not as impactful. Well, yeah, obviously as a character here, so yes, that's right. Belle. I love Belle in this series more than I liked her in Beauty and the Beast. Rumpelstiltskin, I've never liked Rumpelstiltskin. I was like, oh, this story again. What other incarnations are you going to do of this stupid story? But this is amazing. Like, they just take these characters and they make them so different. Peter Pan. Peter fucking Pan. It's unbelievable how well they've made Peter Pan into a bad guy. But anyway, let's get back to this. So Regina is awesome. And this episode was not as boring as I thought it would be in the Enchanted Forest. Again, Charming and Snow White and the dwarves, they're great people, I would guess. But I don't care. I don't care. I don't care about true love. I don't care about True Love's Kiss. I don't care about any of your history. But this was actually really fun to watch. And I've always been a fan of Regina and Snow White's conversations. Just not a fan of Snow White and Prince Charming's conversations. They're just really lacking. Yeah, Snow and Charming are still kind of meh to me. But Snow and Regina, amazing. Keep going with that. So let's get to the main meat of this episode, and that was when Emma was trying to figure out who she needed to be to find Henry. So it starts out with all the group tracking through the jungle, and Hook is really tracking them for the first maybe 10 minutes of this episode, trying to do it his way, and they all kind of try to do it their way. Prince Charming and Snow White kind of have their story, so they kind of hang back. Emma is the leader, so she's trying to rally what she needs to do to get Henry back, and she needs to realize who she was. That was the theme of this. She needs to realize who she was. It was kind of a mix. You have to let go of your past, and you have to realize who you are. It was kind of a mix of the other two themes in this mixture of the Enchanted Forest and the real people. Hook guides them through the jungle, and he says to camp. While they're camping, Emma wakes up in the night, goes to hear what sound is being made in the jungle, and Pan meets her. And this kid, man, this is why I think he deserves an Emmy. Like, he looks menacing and innocent at the same time. It is amazing. This kid's acting is off the wall crazy. At least to me. I don't know if it is to anybody else watching this. So let me know in the comments below if you think that Peter Pan is as amazing as I think he is, because he's just doing a fantastic job. And he says I'm going to give you a map. To find out where Henry is, you need to know who you really are. I don't play tricks. I don't play games. I don't cheat. Just what I say is true. If you say who you really are, then this map will lead you to Henry. And at the end of this episode, it really turns into a great storyline. So she's going over the map, and she says, well, I'm the savior. I was transported in through a tree. I was born in the Enchanted Forest. All these things. But the true thing that she needs to say, she didn't say. So they're kind of frustrated, and Regina gets extremely frustrated and uses a locator spell to find out where Pan is, because this was in Pan's possession. It's his map, so she can use magic to find him. So they follow him all the way to a camp, and there's an epic battle here between Pan's Lost Boys and the goof troop of heroes and villains and Emma. So during the fight, Charming is nicked with a dream shade-coated blade, and this, we find out, can kill you slowly, and it's almost certain death. So is Prince Charming gonna die? Please say yes. It would really cut out the tie that I don't like in this series. I don't like Prince Charming. He can go, and it'll be sad for all of the other people out there, the middle-aged women who love to see this relationship blossom. It will kill them, but it'll kill me. I'll be loving it all the time. I love it when people die, especially people like Prince Charming. Don't get me wrong. Don't quote me on I love it when people die. That's not very good. But anyway, he's nicked with Dream Shade, Coated Blades. So his time is up. Maybe. I bet they make that an episode though. So Pan calls off the attack and says that Emma tried to cheat. You were supposed to find out who you really are and follow the map. You can't just follow me. And he gives her another chance. And then again, they have to figure out who Emma really is. There was actually a very interesting part of this attack, though, when they were fighting. Emma has a blade to one of the Lost Boys' throat, and you just see, like, a look. He gives this look. I thought it was kind of like fear or something, and they were going to play off the Lost Boys are really just boys, and they're scared, and they're just following Pan, because who else should they follow? He knows everything. But they don't. They actually play off that he's an orphan, and he had the same look in his eye that Emma always had in her eye when she was an orphan. And she has this really deep conversation with Snow White about how she still feels like she can't forgive Snow and Charming, even though what they did was for the better. She can't forgive them yet about them making her an orphan. And the really good part of this is that that's what makes the map release. She is a lost girl. She's just like Pan and all the Lost Boys. She's just like Henry. She's just like Rumpelstiltskin. She's just like Neil. And it's so good. It ties in everywhere. And it's, again, Once Upon a Time is surprising in the fact that they have made a storyline out of a lot of people having parental issues. It's great. It is fantastic. So that's who she really is. She's an orphan. Hook and Emma have a lot of really good moments here as well. I mean, there's this Peter Pan movie reference at the beginning of the episode. Oh, well, Peter Pan, he's not evil in where we come from. He is, he's the good guy. And Hook says, well, what about me? What do they say about me? Well, if you like mustaches and permed hairdos. And he's like, you don't like a permed hairdo? It was really great. Hook is amazing. I'm glad they didn't kill him off or him and Rumple just like fought each other. That made me nervous. Those are two of my favorite characters. But I must say, Peter Pan doing amazing, and he's quickly climbing the list. I mean, in my top 5 rankings of villains in this show, I gotta give top villain to Rumple. Next, Regina. Third, Hook. Fourth, I would say, Fourth, I would probably go with the Mad Hatter. And then fifth, Regina's mother. Only because I didn't really like Regina's mother. She seemed like a goddess. So, the Mad Hatter guy, and then Regina's mother. He's still a villain, right? I think he is, after he kidnapped somebody. Okay, so that's my top 5. Pan is already at number 4 now, so Regina's mother is out of my top 5, and Mad Hatter has switched down to number 5. So, my top 4 now are Regina, Hook, Rumple, and Peter Pan. They're just so good at being villains. Okay, and another really good moment here between Hook and Emma is that I've been denying it. There's actually another really great YouTuber who covers Once Upon a Time, Watch It with Poppy. I watch her reviews of a lot of the TV shows that I watch, and she nails it. She's a much better reviewer than I am. I just do this for shits and giggles and fun, and she does this as a profession, so I recommend checking out her channel. She has differing opinions on this. I love the relationship between Rumple and Belle. She loves this potential relationship between Hook and Emma, and I've been denying it. I'm like, they're never going to get together. Emma has Neil. Why would they go with Hook? But here, definitely hinting at a relationship here. I mean, and she brought out a lot of good points. Emma has just imagined, she just thinks that Neil is dead. So Emma and Hook might have something going here on Neverland. Something might happen, and I like it. But, I kind of feel bad for Neil. But Neil can get with Mulan. Sure, whatever. Great episode. Wonderful, wonderful episode. And at the end of it, I want to go over this really delicately. Like I said, Rumpelstiltskin, daddy issues, son issues, grandson issues. Snow White and Prince Charming. Again, daddy issues, mother issues, parental issues. Abandonness. They're both their parents died and all that crazy stuff. And then Emma, parental issues, son issues, Henry, parental issues. So Peter Pan says, congratulations, Emma, you unlocked the map. You are an orphan. You are exactly what Henry is. And by the time that you get to Henry, Henry's going to find out that he doesn't want to go with you. He still hasn't forgiven you for abandoning him, just like you haven't forgiven your parents for them abandoning you. So he's going to want to stay with us by the time you find us. It's so good. He's so evil. Peter Pan is amazing. I give this episode a 9 out of 10. It wasn't perfect. Could have been better on the Rumpelstiltskin side of things. But overall, very, very well done. Very, very, very well done. And they confirm that Camelot is an actual world. So we might be going to Camelot soon too as well. Or we'll see some incarnation of Merlin or something. So again, great episode, 9 out of 10. I want to hear what you thought about it. A 16-minute review for an excellent episode. I love talking about this show. What can I say? Derek the Ginger King from the Kings of Kings of Television review show. Checking out.